Since the massive success of RimWorld, which itself was an inspiration from Dwarf Fortress, there is a new wave of indie titles either in early access or on the way that uses a similar format. A format that is perfect for indie developers. It doesn't require any extremely complex programming, animation or AI coding, making for a far more economic development that is suitable for the indie. And the latest developer to give their take on this is Vox Games, with their early access release of Meeple Station. Meeple Station is a management and building game currently being developed by Vox Games and published by Modularity. It released in early access January 17 and is expected to fully release in between 6 and 9 months time. Meeple Station is currently only about 20% complete, with a lot of content still to be implemented. But while that may be the case, what content there is showcases the game brilliantly and gives the player a great and promising insight into the charm and adorableness of the world and its inhabitants. The objective of Meeple Station is to build a space station and manage it and its meeples. Meeples being simple humanoid beings in an attempt to make it a huge success. When starting off, depending on the difficulty setting you choose, you will have a set amount of money available to you to build your own station, how you see fit within financial boundaries of course. Your only restrictions are that there is a checklist that must be completed where your station will need everything it needs for your meeples to survive, such as oxygen, life support and food. For beginners of the game who don't quite have a full understanding of how everything works or simply would rather have the building done for them, you can have a station randomly generated with everything that you need. The random generation of a station is an option I would recommend for the first time playing, as it gives you great insight into the construction of a station and its many needed modules. Once you have a station built and its requirements accounted for, you are good to launch and must choose where in the universe you want your station to be. You can have it near a trade route increasing trade, or maybe near mineral deposits ripe for mining, refining and trading. The choice is entirely yours. The building of your Meeple Station can be a bit daunting for the first time player, with there being little in the way of a tutorial other than bits of information given at the top right hand corner of the screen. So building a station from scratch can take some time along with trial and error. This is an issue the developer is aware of and plan on creating a tutorial to remedy it, as initially they had a tutorial but with changes it became obsolete come the time of the release of the game. Other than the fact that it's a bit hard to come to grips with, the building is a lot of fun, constructing and shaping your very own station however you can within your money limits, all the while attempting to squeeze in the necessities. Want a long or wide one floor space station? Go for it. Want a multi-story space station? Why the fuck not? It gives the player a decent amount of freedom, and with the easier difficulty, the more freedom you have due to more money. Whether you're simply playing for the sake of building and managing a space station, or whether you generally want a challenge and have to work from tight budgets, Meeple Station caters for everyone in that regard. Once you're set up and your station is launched, it is up to you to give the meeples jobs, preferably ones that cater to their needs and personalities, and begin trading and bringing the station higher up the success and fame ladder. To do this, you need to increase your reputation through trading and expanding your station, increasing the living space, allowing for new meeples to arrive, live and work there. At the beginning of the game, you'll need to choose which meeple is going to be the station's captain, the head honcho of the whole place, taking their personalities and the needs of the role into consideration. Once you have your captain chosen, you will need to give the other meeples their jobs, which to begin with include miner, engineer, janitor or refiner. Miners go out of the station and mine raw minerals if there are any at the location you decide to place your station. These can then be refined into more complex materials that can be traded with passing ships and are needed to build modules and expand your ship. Engineers are your builders, essentially, and make everything that is placed within the station, be it expanding or new rooms, furniture or a new module. These guys are required if any of this is to get done. Janitors are of course needed to keep the place clean, otherwise the station quickly turns into what a teenager's bedroom looks like, with more respectable and tidier meeples ending up disgusted and being unhappy because of it. And finally, the refiner takes the raw materials the miners bring back and refine them into higher quality building materials, which becomes essential for trading and bringing money into the station. There are of course other occupations that you can give meeples, such as researcher, security, hazmat and the likes, but these unlock as you progress further in the game and require high ranking officers to be hired in order to unlock. These officers are essentially like the captain over their specific profession, where you choose a meeple to take the role. The meeples themselves work similarly to the colonists of RimWorld, where you give them the tools, or in this case the jobs and roles, and they go about their day on their own, doing their things at their own pace, sitting and stuffing their faces with fish when hungry, chat to the crew members and go to bed when they need to. The only things you need to do is mark what minerals to mine, what materials to refine, what research you want to be done next, trade with ships, and mark out any expansions and added modules of furniture you want to be put in, while making sure to attract more meeples to the station and cater to their needs. The meeples will do the busy work themselves. There is a certain amount of thought that must be put into what job to give each meeple. Each one has its own personality with traits and quirks. Some are more suitable for specific jobs more than others. For example, social meeples don't make good miners, as they spend most of their time alone, while antisocial meeples make excellent miners, as they prefer the peace and quiet that comes with the job. Meeples with low confidence are better suited to the mundane job of the refinery, while more confident meeples prefer better jobs, and sticking them as refiners results in a massive decrease in happiness. If a meeple is unhappy enough, they could start trouble with other meeples, or even throw themselves out of the airlock. So choosing the roles between what meeples you have available and attempting to figure out what they would be happy with, or at least happy enough with until you have more meeples on board, is crucial and adds a strategic layer of depth to the game. As for the research, you need to have an officer in the research branch before you can give a meeple the job as a researcher, along with needing a laboratory built. Once you have all those requirements met, you can apply the role of a researcher to a meeple, preferably one with the trait of genius for quicker results. The number of advancements to research at the moment are limited to what is essential for the player to experience everything there currently is in the game. The highest the research tree goes is as far as giving the player the ability to travel from one location in the galaxy to another, while granting the technology to defend the station from meteors and pirates when they do travel. Regardless, it gives a wonderful insight into the research mechanic and showcases the groundwork and general concept of the game very well. The only bug I did find in the game was when attempting to expand the bottom level of the ship to make the meeples their own private rooms. The engineer would build the room layouts but not the furniture. I then made all 4 small rooms into one big one to see if that would solve the issue, and it did, but it shows there are issues with the meeples pathfinding. Other than that, from my experience, everything has gone smoothly. Overall, as a whole, the content of the game is limited, but what is there presents the groundwork and the skeletal structure of the game, all the while being an enjoyable experience that keeps you wanting to play. I was slightly frustrated with the pathfinding bug I found, but it didn't stop me enjoying myself and wanting to expand my station to new heights and fame. And if this is the kind of addictiveness and fun that the skeleton of the game can bring, I can't wait to continue playing as it grows. The atmosphere to the game is very similar to that of other similar titles. A general quiet, more ambient and atmospheric set of sci-fi tracks play in the background, blended in by the meeping and bleeping chatter of the meeples themselves. While the soundtrack doesn't add anything much to the gameplay itself, it helps bring out the sci-fi and space theme of the game, while enhancing the calm and relaxing sense that the gameplay gives. Right now, Meeple Station is what I call a first impression stage of development, typical of a game in alpha. But what a great first impression it gives. From the freedom of building your own space station, to the exploration of the universe, to the charm and adorableness of the meeples and their quirky over-the-top personalities, to the addictiveness of the gameplay. Meeple Station is showing nothing but positivity and charm for its future. Whether you're playing for a challenge or just for the fun of building and managing a space station full of strange beings, Meeple Station caters to all. It may be a bit bare bones at the moment, but even now there is still a good few hours of gameplay to get through, and hours more if you simply enjoy just continuously expanding your station with what is available. And even if you don't want to spend money on a game that is so early in development, it is definitely one that fans of management and building games need to keep an eye on, as this is the beginning of something very exciting.